Amazing. Hi guys.
Hey there, welcome back. I want to make a video series of us playing Five Nights at Freddy.
We do not qualify for ad kink. Welcome back to Babble.
Hello everyone, this is Lucy. And you may notice, actually you wouldn't notice, but I'm alone right now. Amelia will not be joining us for this week's episode. It's so sad, I know. But she will be back. She's in a place of no service. So she's in a place of not being able to record, which is fine, but you know, a little bit upset about it. No, it's really fine. We could have skipped this week, but I decided, actually, I don't want to lose our 10-week streak, so I'm going to record just a little something for you guys. It's a very interesting topic this week. This is the most I've ever prepared for a podcast. I have some very long pages of notes, but before we get into that, let me tell you about how my week's been going, okay? So, first I'm going to tell you the story of a scammer on Instagram. I was scammed, but here's the thing. I didn't, give any of my personal information or anything. This is actually the perfect time for me to say I was scammed once because someone in my college group chat was hacked, and they texted the group chat, and they were like, hey, I have 2 extra tickets to Taylor Swift for Sunday. I'm not able to go, so if anyone wants them, I'm selling them, just text me at this number. So I texted that number. I was like, hey, I'd be so interested in buying your Taylor Swift tickets. And I knew something was off, blah blah blah, and I was texting them for 2 days trying to get these tickets, and they were so it just seemed like AI generated. The way they were texting was so weird, and I was like, okay, this is fake. And they did scam me a little bit, but no money was taken. I called them a bitch, and I blocked them. But anyways, let me tell you about this story of being, I guess, scammed, but I'm just confused on where the scam would have been. Just let me explain. So, on July 31st at 5:18 p.m., I got a text from a Miss Debbie Smith. Her Instagram handle is art_by_Debbie5. Okay, so her profile picture is her with holding up a vinyl, and she's got a bandana. She looks like a real person. Okay, it doesn't look like those how old men will look up pictures of sexy women and then put them at the story, but it's very obviously not a real photo. Anyways, so I was weird. So I viewed their profile, and it's pretty good art, and I was like, oh, cool. But they only had 2 posts, so I was like, I don't know. Well, they message me and they say, hey, I really like your profile and your posts, and if you let me, I would make such an amazing mural out of it. If you don't mind, one of your posts could be my inspiring muse for an art project I'm working on for a client. You will totally get paid for it, as well as a bonus. She says, as well as a bonus, also get credits. What does that mean? Hey, what does that mean? Hey, Debbie, what does that mean? As well as a bonus, also get credits. Okay. And I was like, okay, this is a little bit strange, but I want a mural painted of me. I want a mural painted of one of my posts. My profile's public. People can use my posts for inspiration, so I don't really care. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to respond. So I said, absolutely. Thanks for reaching out. And she sent me one of my own posts, a picture of me, so I was flattered, She was like, I was thinking about using this picture from your picture post piece, if that's okay with you. And I was like, yes, okay. I was like, okay, she is texting really weird right now. And then she said, perfect. My client intends to make as soon as possible, so the piece can be completed before next week, and I can also send you a copy of when it's done, and there's going to be more reward for you. And I was like, oh, there's going to be more reward for me. Hey. So I was like, okay, Debbie. And I was like, okay, now I'm getting suspicious. So I said, are you allowed to say who the client is? And she said, he's just the person I'm proving my talent for. And I'm very sure you will love the outcome once I'm done with it. He's just the person I'm proving my talent for. And so then I was like, okay, I'm just going to stop responding because, like, I don't want to deal with this right now. But then, like, 20 minutes later, she said, okay, what's going on? Why are you ignoring my texts? And I said, okay, I guess I'm being thrown back into this. So I said, actually, do you have any, do you have a portfolio you could show me? And she said, you mean my works, period. And I said, yes, that's what a portfolio is it not? So she sent me some pictures and I was like, these look so good. They're all in the same art style. They really look really cool. So I was like, okay, well, maybe this is a real person. Maybe, like, English isn't their first language, so that's why their texts sound weird. I don't know. So I was like, wow, that's awesome. And then she goes, thanks, aw, thanks. She used a little emoji. And then I was like, hold on. Because she said, my client will be paying you through checks. It will be in your name and sent to your email once we're in collaboration. Okay, how do you receive a text through email? I mean, how do you receive, like, a check through email without, like, I don't know. Then she says, the check is for $3,000 while your cut will be $500. I will use the remaining to get the painting materials and also take the remaining profit for my service. Hopefully that should be encouraging, though it may seem on the low side. And I was like, no, like, what kind of scam is this that she's offering to pay me $3,000? So I was like, oh, I guess 500 because that's my cut. So I was like, okay, I'm not giving you any personal information. I'm sorry. And she said, let me read this off to you. Listen to me. I don't like the word scam, let alone get myself involved in it. I prefer to spend the little time I've on earth at work. I personally know how it feels to have your information with someone you have never met. I cringe when I hear the word scam. I would never go so low as to get involved with such shameful activity. I said, okay, Debbie, I feel the exact same way. Debbie. Listen to me. I don't like the word scam, Debbie. And then I kind of just, like, stopped responding because I was like, okay, I can't do this. This is so funny. But then she kept texting me and she was like, my client will need your full name on the check. And she was like, are you there? Hello. And then this is the last text she sent me because I blocked her after this. See, I'm a good Christian and God-fearing woman, and I know what the Bible says about stealing. Take a look at this Bible verses, Ephesians 4:28, Exodus 20:15, and I'm not a scammer and I never will be one till I die. What a statement from Debbie. She is a good Christian and God-fearing woman, and y'all need to act more like her. She's a Christian and God-fearing woman. Anyways, I blocked her after that, but I, like, not after having a good laugh at that, because that was so funny. But as I was looking through her profile, I was like, someone that I follow, like someone that I kind of know, follows her. So I was like, well, maybe she's actually just, like, trying, like, just wants to paint me so bad. She's, like, desperate to paint me. And so I message this guy who follows her and I was like, hey, sorry this is weird, like, we don't talk much, but you follow this account, like, they won't stop messaging me about using my pictures for something, like, do you know them or should I just, like, block them? And they did the exact same thing to him. And so I was like, oh, okay. I was, like, a little confused on why he still follows her, but whatever. And so I sent him, like, a screenshot of, like, the good Christian and God-fearing woman line, and I was like, that's killing me. And apparently, like, he played along with it as well, and she's like doing it to everyone. And I'm just like so confused on where the scam comes in. Because like she messaged like I want to make a mural of you. Can I use one of your photos? I'm like, okay, whatever. You'll get $500. And I was like where does that come in? Because she said all that she needed was my email and my name. And I was kind of curious because I was like, well, I mean, $500, come on. But like, I mean, obviously it's a scam. I'm just like wondering how, like, at what stage would she get my information, you know? I don't know, but that's my funny scam story that I had this week. She's a scamstress. Debbie's a scamstress, and you know what? She was doing a pretty good job at first. Okay. In other recent news, Taylor's version 1989 was announced last night. I am so excited. I was so excited for Speak Now. And I kind of wish Speak Now had gotten a little bit more like time to marinate and get its like chance in the spotlight before 1989. But I'm also really excited because there are rumors that Harry might be featured on it, and if he is, I will actually be taken out back and like you have to shoot me in the head. Like I'm not joking, like someone will have to end it for me because like I will not be able to physically handle it. Okay. I'm not going to talk about any more recent news because I want to discuss recent news with Amelia when she gets back from her vacation. She's on vacation. I'm stuck laboring here. Let me set the scene for you. I'm just in my bed under my cozy pillows. It's a rainy-ish day outside. I've got my stuffed animals. I'm all snuggled up. I've got the mood, like I've got lamps on, no overhead light. The fan's going strong. I've got a nice glass of ice water with a glass straw. Hear that? It's refreshing. And I'm ready to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, last week I said, I'd like to learn more about the lore before the movie comes out because I've always been a little interested in it. Amelia and I have played the game, like we downloaded it on one of our road trips and would like take turns playing it. I think we downloaded the third one, Five Nights at Freddy's 3, I think. But I've watched people play it, and other than that, I don't know anything about it. And I'm a big fan of like, okay, actually, let me go back to school for a minute. Let me just like learn everything I can about this one topic, but it actually doesn't benefit me at all. Like it's actually not educational. It's just something random. I did that with The Last of Us, had a full-on obsession. Who knows if this little adventure will turn into a new obsession. Possibly, because I did spend 5 hours on this last night. So I originally was just going to have a little corner where I fed you little scraps of the lore every night, every week, like once a week leading up to the movie. But then when Amelia said she couldn't do it, like record the podcast this week, I was like, well, I've already learned a lot of the lore. Why don't I just do an episode on it? And I've never like talked straight like for an hour straight. Like I don't think I could do the podcast without Amelia. So I kind of needed something that I could like actually just like it's like a story that I could tell, you know? Cuz like I'm already winded, I'm already tired, and I'm 13 minutes in. So today I'm going to be giving you the Five Nights at Freddy's complete beginner timeline made by someone who learned the lore yesterday and has played the game maybe twice in her life, okay? And before we get into it, I want to give a big disclaimer. So hold on. Sorry, I want to make sure I'm getting this right when I say this. Okay, I have a whole thing of notes, but for some reason I didn't write down the names of the games. And I know a good amount of them. I just want to make sure I get them in the right order. Okay. It's important to note that the lore is not a big part of the game itself. Like when you play as the game, you're not fed a lot of information about the lore. Like, you just kind of play the game. So a lot of people, like, the timeline is not set and a lot of people disagree on it. Okay? So I watched like 4 hours of YouTube videos on the lore and on like different opinions and different theories, and it's all complicated. A lot of people disagree on it. I'm just going to tell you what I think and what I've gathered. I trust MatPat. I watched a really long game theory episode on this, and the timeline came out like 11 days ago. You should go watch that because it does a much better job explaining it, but it is like 2 hours long. So if you don't want to watch that, I watched it for you and I will tell you about it now. But I trust him because I think he's, from what I've learned, he's like done a lot of the piecing together. Like, okay, let me tell you. There's Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 2, which came out in 2014. Five Nights 3 and 4 came out in 2015. Sister Location came out in 2016. Pizzeria Simulator in 2017. Help Wanted in 2019. Special Delivery 2019, and Security Breach in 2021. Okay? So there are 9. Okay? But it's important to note that the games aren't in chronological order. Okay? So it doesn't go like 1, 2, 3, 4. It actually goes 4, 2, Sister Location, 1, 3, Simulator, Help Wanted, Security Breach. It's like all out of order, okay? Now, if you disagree with me, please, like, if I get anything wrong, please don't come for me because I literally just learned this yesterday. I'm just trying to, like, I'm sure none of you know the lore. Well, okay, not a lot of you probably know the lore. So I'm just going to give you dumbed down version, basic, okay? I'm already like close to 20 minutes and I haven't even started. I may have to make a part 2. I may not finish it. But we're going to start. Just so you know, the timeline's very heavily debated on. I've said this. So this, and a lot of it, none of it is certain. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, the community throughout the games, like the books, and like the mini games, people have pieced together a bunch of information. Nothing has really been set in stone or confirmed, you know? So, yeah. Those are my disclaimers. Let's get into it. So, Five Nights at Freddy's, here are the characters you need to know. William Afton, okay? William Afton is a man, and he's going to have 3 children, okay? You need to know him. And Henry Emily, you need to know him as well. He has 1 kid. All right. Let's go back in time to the 1930s, all right? In the 1930s, oh, also this is a recent development. I think this one, like, was pieced together when Security Breach came out. Okay. 1930s, there's this almost like carnival circus attraction singing show called Fredbear's Singing Show, and the little logo is like a cartoon style bear with a little top hat and a bow. It's in black and white. It's very old, but the attraction is like, you go, it's like a family attraction. There's food, you sit down and you watch an actual bear, like a real life bear who's trained to, you know, do fun tricks, like a circus, okay? Like P.T. Barnum, that style. This is way before any of, like, the Freddy's restaurants open. This is just like a show. And William Afton, as a young child, okay, people debate on whether this is a family business and William Afton was kind of born into it, or he was obsessed with this character as a child and wanted to bring back the show later in his life. So it's either a family business or he was inspired by the bear and wanted to create his own sort of like child's entertainment, similar to like a Chuck E. Cheese, you know? When William Afton was older, flash forward to like 1970s, he rebrands Fredbear. The original bear was kind of dark brown. He makes it more yellowy, more golden fur, and then he creates his own character to go along with Fredbear, who's called Bonnie the Bunny. If you want to look up pictures of them, look up like golden Fredbear and golden Bunny. I meant Bonnie. So the rebranded Fredbear is basically, he stole this idea from this old circus show, and then he created his own to go along with it. And he made, he was interested in bringing that show back to life and having some kind of animal interact with kids in the audience at the show. So he made these wearable mascot outfits. They're just like, at a sports game outfits. We're not into animatronics yet. These are just mascot outfits. And he opens this little restaurant and is excited. And Fredbear becomes a little bit popular. And, it's doing okay. But another restaurant across the street, it's not across the street, it's just like another restaurant called Chica's Party World. Chica's Party World is getting more business because they have animated robots. So when you think of Chuck E. Cheese, you think of, there are a bunch of games, there are a bunch of food, pizza, fun times, and then there's that stage where the animatronics like kind of perform. They like play their music, they move around. So when you think of Chica's Party World, think of that with very, very basic robots. Like, they're not like very well animated. Like when you think of Five Nights at Freddy's, they're not like that. Okay. They're just very, very basic. Actually, if you have your phone on you, look up mediocre melodies. Five Nights at Freddy's. They're very basic. They don't do much, but they sing and they strum their guitar or whatever, So Chica's Party World very, very clearly stole William Afton's idea of Fredbear and Bonnie, and they have more like country farm animals. Okay, they have an elephant. I don't know why they have an elephant, but they also have like okay, there's an elephant, there's a frog, there's a pig, there's a hippo, and they all have really country accents and they play it. Anyways, the creator of Chica's Party World and these basic animatronics is Henry Emily. Okay? So he took William's idea but did it better with the animated robots. And these like original animated robots are called the mediocre melodies because they're mediocre and they sing melodies. Okay? So that is Chica, the hippo, pig, the frog, and there's a bear called I think it's Fedbear. Like, it's very obviously a ripoff of Fredbear. So William Afton is like, okay, now you've done it, Henry. Now you've done it. And he gets really jealous and kind of makes an enemy out of Henry Emily. Well, as time goes on, in 1979, the franchises end up merging because while the animated robots are doing well, Fredbear and Bonnie the Bunny are more popular characters. So they decide to merge, so they become one. And in 1979, Fredbear's Family Diner opens. This is the first restaurant, Fredbear's Family Diner. Very homey, very small. There are originally 2 animatronics. Well, there were originally 4 animatronics. And it's 2 of the mediocre melodies and Fredbear and Bonnie the Bunny. So William Afton kind of joins forces with Henry Emily to create his characters as animatronics. And then they bring 2 of the mediocre melodies. But over time, the mediocre melodies aren't as popular, so they stop being used. They're like thrown in the back. And so now it's only Bonnie the Bunny and Fredbear. Okay? Those are the 2 animatronics in this little restaurant. Then, around the similar time, Fredbear and Friends becomes a popular TV show. So this is like kind of like a cartoon style, sort of, the Fredbear and Friends show. and it includes, this is where we get all of the beloved characters. So it has Chica. I love Chica so much. Okay, it has Chica, the little yellow duck you've probably seen, Bonnie the bunny, Fredbear, Foxy, the pirate fox, and then it has a and then they have Freddy and a blue version of Bonnie the bunny, blue version who like plays the guitar. Okay, so there's 6 of them in total, and that's where you get the new characters. All right, keep in mind these animatronics aren't there, like they're not in the Family Diner. This is part of the show where new characters are being created. Okay, Family Diner still got the 2 animatronics, very small. All right, 1983. Everything's been going pretty well until 1983. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza opens. Okay? So we still have the Family Diner opened. It's a smaller one, but the new one, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, opens, and now they're new animatronics, Chica, Foxy, and Blue Bunny, based off of Fredbear and Friends. Okay? We still got Freddy there as well in the new place. And for this one, Afton and Emily have created this new suit that sets them apart from other children's entertainment like Chuck E. Cheese, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It sets them apart because they created something called the spring lock suit. Okay? And they say, oh, let me try this out. So while Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is getting popular, they're like, let's try out these spring lock suits at the Family Diner. Essentially what a spring lock suit is the animatronics can stay on stage like you would think of, move around, play their music, blah, blah, blah. But then the animatronic part can be like, kind of like pulled back almost. The gears can be moved so that a person can fit inside, and then it becomes more of a mascot. Okay? So the reason they wanted to do this is because they wanted the animatronics to be able to perform, and then they wanted Henry, Emily, and William Afton wanted to be able to get in the suits and then serve the children pizza and interact with them, and make it a little bit more interactive than what you'd usually see at a place like this. Okay. William Afton always got in the Bonnie the bunny suit, and Henry Emily was in the Fredbear suit. So springlock suit, that's what sets them apart. They're only at the Family Diner location right now. Now, this is still 1983. William Afton has 2 sons, Michael, who is the older son, and, okay, I say Evan as the younger son. That is not agreed on by everyone. Not everyone knows. The younger son is not explicitly given a name, but through like context clues, some people have like guessed that his name is Evan, but no one really knows for sure. I'm going to say Evan because I don't want to keep saying the younger brother, okay? So let's just assume younger brother's Evan, older brother's Michael. Evan is really afraid of the animatronics at the Family Diner and the new place. He's just afraid of the animatronics. And you know what? I stand with him because as a kid, I was so scared of mascots. I would actually like... It was actually traumatizing. Like, mascots are so scary. I don't even want to think about animatronics. Like, ugh, I hated going to Chuck E. Cheese when there was like a party because I'm like, I do not want to dance with these creepy things. I was in a place of hating animatronics, and you know what? I was right for that, especially after figuring out this lore. We're not even like a quarter of the way through, guys. Okay, so it's important. Okay. Michael taunts little Evan with a foxy mask. He puts a little foxy mask on, and he likes to scare Evan a lot, because he takes advantage of his fear of the animatronics. Now, William Afton is spending a lot of time looking into animatronics, like running his business. He doesn't have a lot of time for his family. So he makes a bunker under his house where he can build stuff, tinker around. He's honestly, William Afton is the Tinkerbell of the 1980s. And when did Tinkerbell come out? Wait. When was Tinkerbell invented? 1911? Oh, 1904? Probably even before that, honestly. She's real old. That girl is old. Okay, he's the Tinkerbell of the 1980s. He's tinkering down there. But he also installs cameras in certain places to keep an eye on his children because he can't, be with them very often. And he counts on Michael to look after Evan a lot, which is a bad idea because, Michael is literally the worst bully to Evan, as a lot of older siblings are. But seriously, I would not do that. Okay, whatever. Ugh. It's actually pissing me off. I'm not... Okay. So, it's important to note that William hid a camera in one of Evan's stuffed animals on his bed, and it's a certain type of Freddy, and I don't remember its name. You can look it up. I don't really care. Okay. So one day, Michael and his friends are ganging up on Evan, and they force him to get close to the animatronics. And Evan is really scared, and he's like, no, please don't, blah, 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 blah. The friends and Michael lift him up and put him into the Freddy animatronic's mouth at the family diner. Okay? And the spring locks are activated by the movement and clamp down on to Evan, crush him, and kill him. So... everyone's kind of in mourning. He doesn't die right away. He's rushed to the hospital, connected to an IV, and through that stuffed animal that he has, Evan's father says, I'm so sorry this happened to you. I will put you back together. Who knows what that means? But somehow he thinks he can save his son. No, his son dies. And, from then on, it's kind of accepted that Evan's body haunts the Fredbear animatronic and is kind of living in that animatronic now. Okay? So that is kind of how we get this story of these animatronics come to life at night. They kind of have free will almost. They're moving around a lot. They're attacking people. That kind of comes out of, someone was killed by this or in this or around this, and that is their soul is what is kind of haunting or possessing the animatronics. And it all starts with Evan. Neither of the pizzerias shut down. There's a little bit of increased security. I saw this in one of the videos, but I didn't see it in the other one, so I'm not 100% sure about this, but apparently there is a puppet or marionette type puppet animatronic that is used to scan children's security bands, and now they're security bans, so they don't want animatronics to be left alone with children. The new animatronics are linked to a criminal database to scan for predators. Michael, the older brother who just killed his little brother by putting him in the mouth of Fredbear, starts seeing hallucinations at night. Okay, so there are two different theories that I heard. So if you go to Google and look up, please join me at Google and look up Nightmare Freddy. He is the one that's got the teeth, the chompers. I'm pretty sure this might be in the fourth game. And this is not how the animatronics actually look. Okay? There are no animatronics like this at the restaurant, which is understandable because why would they have animatronics that freaky at the restaurant? It's like a children's place. These are either said to be nightmares, like this is when you're playing as Michael and he's having nightmares about Freddy because he put his brother in Freddy and Freddy was the one who killed him, and the reason he has such sharp teeth, Nightmare Freddy has such sharp teeth and like is gangly, is because those teeth killed his brother. Okay, there's that theory, and there's also a theory that William kind of blames Michael almost, and is kind of building these like plastic figures and then using like light and sound to trick Michael into thinking he's seeing these hallucinations. So they're either like halfway real or they're his nightmares. I don't know which one. I feel like nightmares are more believable because like how are you bending light and sound to make him see, like I don't know. It's just confusing to me. So I think they're nightmares, but who knows? So Michael is convinced that he's being haunted by his brother's spirit. So William blames Henry. Why? Probably because he doesn't want to take that guilt on himself. So he's like, oh, Henry was the one who like inspired these animatronics and now they've killed my son. Like he was my enemy to begin with. He stole my idea. Like he is the one who caused this. Which, like, okay, like, you keep telling yourself that, William. He rushes back to the restaurant to try to confront Henry. And that's when he sees Henry's daughter, Charlie, outside of the restaurant. And he says, I just lost a son. He's kind of crazy. He's a little bit crazy. He said, he's clinically crazy, clinically insane. No, he's probably, okay, so I watched Matt Pat's video on this, and he really, really leans into the idea that William Afton is just a bad guy, and he's like the enemy here. But I watched another video who kind of is like, I think it's more interesting to think of William Afton as a father who lost his son and is actually like going insane. And he does some terrible, really bad stuff. So William sees Henry's daughter, her name is Charlie, outside of the restaurant, drives up and kills her and leaves her there. Okay. No one knows that it's him, but Emily has a little bit of a hunch. Fredbear's Family Diner, the first restaurant, closes because 2 child deaths have taken place there. There's too much bad press. There's too much like bad stuff going on there. Fredbear's Family Diner closes. All of the old animatronics that were at the diner are moved to the new pizza place. The new Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. And they just kind of sit in a back room. Okay? But all those old animatronics are at the new pizza place. They weren't thrown away or anything. This is where I kind of get tripped up because William Afton, he's trying to figure out what happened to his son Evan. I guess somehow he believes that Evan's spirit is still in Fredbear. I don't know. I maybe I missed it, or maybe I didn't see it. I don't know how he figures that out, but I'm pretty sure he does. And he wants to kind of recreate that scenario to see if it's really his son in the Fredbear costume. Okay? So he's like, if I get another child's body and put them in a different animatronic, and that animatronic starts showing like weird forms of like being alive, like starts like acting a little different, then I'll know, hey, my child is in there and I can somehow communicate with him, kind of save him, kind of bring him back in a way. Okay. Ugh, we're at 40 minutes. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to push through a little bit longer because this is interesting. 1985. 2 years after the diner closed down, William Afton sneaking around, puts his gold Bonnie suit on. The original Bonnie animatronic that has the spring locks, puts that suit on, and he starts luring children into the back rooms of the pizzeria. Okay? So while this pizzeria, having a fun time, he's getting children alone. He's luring them back there and he's killing them. Okay? This is called the Missing Children's Incident of 1985. Kind of crazy that the police don't look there. There's video footage of the Golden Bonnie luring kids away, so they have that, and William gets tried for the murder of the 5 children, or at least the kidnapping, but they couldn't find the bodies, they couldn't find any other evidence, they couldn't even really prove that William was in the Bonnie suit, so he is not arrested. However, Henry Emily kind of knows what's going on. I mean, he runs the business too. 5 kids are missing, like, Golden Bonnie is William's signature suit, like, he knows. So he kicks William Afton out of the business and is like, you're crazy. I'm not going to turn you in, because I think a lot of people think that William Afton's kid dying is probably payment enough. So 1985, William Afton is kicked out of the business. Outfit, I guess, security outfit. What is that called? Like an outfit you wear to jobs? What's an outfit you wear to jobs? Sorry, I just put my mouth right up to the mic. What? A uniform. Why couldn't I remember that word? It's so easy. Hello? Okay. And I'm gonna stop there. We'll get back to it on another week that Amelia's traveling. But right now I'm tired and I'm home alone, and I don't want to talk about Freddie anymore. I don't want to talk about William Afton anymore. I'm sorry if I got any of that wrong. If it's confusing, I'm sorry. Maybe I'll post the notes, because the notes I have in the pages of notes I have are a lot easier to follow along with. And maybe I'll link the YouTube videos I watched, because those are a lot easier to follow along with as well. I hope you learned a little bit about the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, because it's actually crazy. William Afton's crazy. And I hope you are inspired. I hope you realize how much of a tinkerbell William Afton is, and I hope you don't get scammed on Instagram. Also, can I complain about TikTok Shop real quick? Because every video I get is just sponsored by TikTok Shop, and they're trying to sell me something in every single video. I'm like, it's not even fun anymore to go on TikTok. I'm still gonna do it because I'm like chronically online, but OMG, it's not even fun to scroll anymore, because you don't even see any fun videos. You just see ads. It's all ads. All anything online is ads. This whole podcast episode was just a big ad for the FNAF movie. I am so upset with TikTok right now. Like, let's return to our roots. Let's turn it back into Musical.ly. I have died every day waiting for you. Alright, well, I hope this rambly episode was okay without Amelia. Miss her. She will be back next week. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. I probably won't ever do this again, because I'm exhausted. And I feel like this one wasn't as entertaining as when I have Amelia. But I hope you got some joy out of it. And I love you all. Thank you so much for listening. Mwah, mwah.